G'day everyone, it's SDS SuperCoach providing SuperCoach content for you. I'm here to present highly owned players that we haven't had in our draft. So I don't know how I'm going to title the video. It's a bit of a mouthful, but we'll find a way. But joining me as a special guest once again on the channel and a much better sound quality this time around, it's George from Fantasy Take TV. How you going, my mate?
G'day, Steve. Yeah, last time had a bit of internet issues, I think, but all good
Yeah.
now. Although I am with Telstra, so who knows? But um, yeah, looking forward to chatting some Supercoach today.
Yeah, of course, mate. Yeah, I'm Telstra too, so we'll bear the pain together. We're going to be discussing, yeah, as I said, some players that are 10% or above that haven't been in any of our drafts so far, and I guess we can discuss why. Before we get started, where can we find you, George?
Uh, YouTube, George FTTV. Uh, so yeah, we'll start ramping up the content now, and then on X, George FTTV. So join in the fun there. Where I think it's Twitter these days. I'm more asking questions and giving advice. I'm not sure what I'm doing this year, so it's good. No, it's been good. So yeah, those two are the main ones.
Yeah, I poke my head every now and then in the Discord, and sometimes I'd like to say stuff, but half the time I don't know what's going on in that general Supercoach chat. It doesn't make any sense to me, but that's
Yeah.
all right. Um, yeah, let's get straight into it. Just sorry as well, just before we start, what are your early thoughts on what you saw last night with the Crows?
There's positive signs for the team. I think the Supercoach relevant picks. I liked Rankin's role. Like that was a really good, healthy amount of CVAs.
Yep, same. I liked it.
I liked I mean, I didn't. I love Dawson. I was going to pick him even if he was getting 50, 60% mid. I'm still going to pick him. I think he gets so much ball on the outside, but yeah, that does hurt his ceiling. But Dawson was really good. Hey, the tag's going to come though. Just, yeah, for those picking Dawson, be prepared. But yeah, he's fun to watch. So I've got Dawson. I saw enough from Rankin's role that I put him in. I don't think he's a lock for my team, but he's in.
Yep.
Peatling, I dropped Peatling when I saw the practice games. And they're playing Sid Draper a bit. He sort of suffered the most, and it happened again last night. So I feel Draper will play in some capacity throughout the year. I don't know if it'll be round one, but whether it's sub, I think that's going to eat into Peatling's CBAs. And Peatling doesn't have a great outside game, and he's not a massive accumulator, but he tackles a lot. So he needs those center bounces. And yes, he's around the ball, but when you're losing center bounces, then it's less opportunities for tackles. He needs those tackles. So I think Peatling's probably best case 90, more realistically, somewhere in the 80s. So I don't have him. Dan Curtin, the Crows don't know what to do with him. So he's in a void for me.
Yep.
I think he's a forward and he's might have to wait till Walker retires because I like him as a forward. It's in other positions he hasn't really shown anything, but forward he's shown a bit. So Dan Curtin 160k avoid. I like Matt Crouch's game, but no one's going to pick him. I think he'll do his 105 to 110 again. Um, Trying to think if there's anyone else that's relevant.
Um, there's
Laird, I wouldn't touch either. Don't pick Laird.
uh,
He was terrible, but we all know this at halfback. So it'll be up to the coach to have the balls to drop him at some point. Be a champion of the club, but not relevant. Even when he gets DPP, I wouldn't go there. But otherwise, yeah, positive signs. And I've got Dawson and Rankin at the moment. I've always pretty much had Dawson, and then Rankin made his way in with his good CBA role.
yeah, yeah, great summary. I think that was one of the main complaints with as good of a prospect Curtin was is he's versatile, but can he nail down a specific position on the field? So it'll be interesting to see. Luckily, he's only a couple of years into his career. There'll be a position he'll be able to lock down, that's for sure. So let's get it underway. So I guess first question here is there anyone above 60% ownership that you haven't had in your side at all?
Gee, it depends what day you ask me. I'm not that keen on Bo Allen. Not a massive accumulator, but I
Yeah.
think he's like worst case comes a D defensive mid loophole. That swing's going to be quite valuable, I think. Um, But yeah, he only needs to score like 40s and 50s to make 100 120K. I really need to see more of him though. So I think maybe a reserve judgment on Bert Allen, but I don't have him at the moment. Prefer Reed, Pryor, and maybe Patton, but we'll see if
Yep.
he actually he's named on field tonight, so we'll see. Um, I've toyed with Bailey Smith in and out, sort of swapping him for like a 400K defender to fix the structure. Don't really know how many CBAs he's going to get. Like, how much wing time is he going to get? Is this knee? Is this like are they Geelong playing games? First they said it was a knock, then they said it was
Yeah.
Pilates. I'm confused. I don't trust Geelong, but that's just me being conspiracy theorist. Uh, so look, hopefully we see Baz in round zero and we see a good amount of centre bounces. And just off the ACL, I remember Dane just said like sort of just paraphrasing here, but like temper expectations a bit for Baz just
Yep.
because off the ACL. So yeah, he was really good in that half we saw in the practice game, but I'm probably overthinking. So I've toyed with him in and out. I want to see some more center bounces in round zero though. But otherwise, I pretty much have all the others. I don't have Nick, but he's 50%. So yeah, everyone else under 60, I've got over 60 rather.
Yeah, I think the only one I currently don't have in the side is Kako, just because I'm very interested to see how Joe Berry goes for Port. Ken Hinkley's already locked him in, so I think he's got a better Supercoach profile, but Kako's 100% got the better job security. He'll play all 23 games, so but yeah, I think all players above 60% I've had in my side at one point. I guess probably the only player above 50% that I haven't had at all is Nick Dacos. I don't know where you sit on Nick. Obviously, the foot issue to start pre-season. Obviously, that game against Richmond has boosted up this ownership a fair bit. It'll be interesting to see how he goes around zero and if Bedford goes to him. I currently haven't had him in. I think I find it tough to put him in. It's you need to sell me a lot on starting a 600 plus K player with that early buy. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Is Dacos currently in your side, George?
No, just wait for the tag games. It's like he looked good against like Richmond. Richmond
Yeah.
not going to be competitive this year.
No.
Just looks like Trent and Hopper didn't look great, and a lot of burden is on them at the moment. Plus, they got injuries, so teams just going to do whatever they want against Richmond. Tags will come. We just have to be patient, and if they
Yeah.
don't come, then it's going to suck. Not owning him, but just remember that people are most likely going to field like a 60 or a 70 if they're lucky on his buy, and maybe we can have a premium there. I've got Sorong instead. He's my only really 600K plus mid at the moment,
Yep.
and maybe he can put 60, 70 points on Dacos that round, and we can get some points back. But no, not with the buy. I haven't really considered it once, as good as he is.
No, me neither. Love him as a player. I'll definitely have to get him in at some point. I guess the play's down at 40% here. I still find it amazing that Erasmus ownership is still that high. Uh, Reed and Sardis have skyrocketed in ownership over the past few days, from what I've noticed. I guess it's one to touch on Marcus Bontempelli. So I think we've probably I'd assume we've both had him in our teams at some point over the preseason. But now with the talks of there being scans on calf tightness, quite risky for 680K to pay up for that. I know how strong you are in durability and that sort of thing. We know Bont over the past few years has been very durable. Does this uh, uh, does this change on your view on Bont in terms of like, okay, I might start him if things go really bad, to now I'm out?
Definitely not can't pick him now for me off
Yep.
the not that price. Something goes wrong with that price. Season over. Even yeah, as the more value pops up, just becomes much harder to pick expensive players. And Bond's sort of in a league of his own where
Yeah.
There's no other mid at that price, so you suffer elsewhere like no other with Bont there. So I've sort of played with Bont as an M1 a little bit, but in probably recent times I haven't had him. But now this just makes if I was probably 90% not going to pick him, now it's 100% not going to pick him. So
Yep.
uh, let that one go, and hopefully he's all good because we love Bont.
Yeah, he's an absolute superstar. I mean, yeah, I was in a very similar boat. I was thinking I don't think I can pay up this year for him, but now it's I find it just very hard to. And I think I've currently got Andy Brayshaw M1 at this stage, so we'll see how that goes. I'm going fairly mid-price in the middle there. As we move on down to the 30% range, got Sardell Hawley there, who I don't think is going to play early for the Bombers, but it is a good sign for him to be a downgrade target at some point. I'd be shocked if he didn't play at some stage. Tom DeConning has really risen up a lot more now. And with the news of Pitternet, it was pretty high up, then it went down, then went back up in ownership. Davidson has skyrocketed as well due to yesterday's performance. Sid Draper, I feel like it's evened out there. I think all these guys we've had in our team, even like a James Leake, just due to the defender rookies. What are your thoughts? If is there anyone here that you haven't had?
Well, I didn't have DeConning for a bit until Pitney went down. I thought
Yep.
just sort of playing games like Carlton, not really sure what was going on there. But I think DeConning, yeah, hands forced with him now. So I think the ceiling's too high with
Yep.
DeConning. Um, got don't have Leak, don't have Langford.
Yeah.
Just not really interested in paying up, and I don't know exactly his role to
I
be
think it's going to be
honest.
forward of the ball from what it sounds like, and then yeah, maybe pushing up a little bit. But yeah, the roll seems a bit dodgy for me for 181k.
I'm more than happy to watch him because I didn't actually watch him, but just like first year players, always skeptical of paying a bit extra for those players. Even like Jagger, we all penciled in and he got no CBAs and barely touched the ball. It was good with the ball, but like, you never know how ready these guys are. But probably Langford looks a little bit more built than Jagger. Yeah, Leake's not playing. I think they've just started the other game. I don't think I saw him in the team. So yeah, no
Yeah,
link, no leak.
I'm surprised about that. It sounded like he was making a pretty good case in pre-season with given all the suspensions currently at the Giants to start the season. I would have thought so. Maybe he's bit more raw of a prospect than we sort of expected. Like Mitch Nevitt. I've currently got him in the side. I still, as we touched on earlier, it's hard to trust Chris Scott, um,
Yeah,
especially with young midfielders, and he's pretty talented. So hopefully he can get a good run there. Sid Draper, I could see, as we talked about earlier, Nixie sort of easing him into the side rather than going full pelt to begin with. And yeah, as we move down to the mid to low 20s range, there are a fair few guys here. Ashcroft, since the start of preseason, has just slowly and slowly and slowly been in less sides. We got Tom Lynch there, um, who didn't play against Collingwood, of course. My babe Will Day in there at 21%. He's dropped a few percentage in after that Dogs game. I think I saw the signs with Will Day, but it's just yeah. I think his time on ground's going to go up, but that's going to equal with him being forward in that extra time on ground. I think that's going to be a way for Hawthorn to rest him and build up his forward craft there, especially early, considering that we don't actually have many forward tall forward targets. Day could be something different there. In terms of guys I haven't had, Max Holmes for me, I haven't had Holmes yet, and I'm not sure if I will. Maybe you could talk to me about Max Holmes if you've had him in it at all. Is are you sold on him?
Not really. I think
Nah.
he's obviously a star of the game. What's his role? Like probably center bounces.
They move him
That's the
around
kind of
everywhere.
stuff. Yeah, we don't want to see wing. So I think with the buy, I think it's just I don't think he's going to get out of control. Like he can go big, can score 150. I think
Yeah.
I'll just wait and see. I think his disposal is not that crash hot either. Like his kicking is not that consistent, I should say. It's not bad, but I think it can be a bit of an issue at times. So
Yeah.
no, I haven't really looked at Holmes too much, to be honest, at that price. I think I've got Nass and Jordan Clark a similar price. Uh, maybe Clark's maybe 20, 30K more and with no buy. So I think the buy is a big one as well. So for
Yeah.
them to have for me to pick a play with the buy, they need to have be cheap enough to really be worth it elsewhere. So I don't really see Holmes as worth it. It maybe he goes 110, who knows, but more CBAs, I'm not sure, but not confident enough to pick him with the buy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. You know how there's some players in AFL that are obviously outstanding and one of the top 15, top 20 players in the comp, but that doesn't translate to Supercoach. I feel like this could happen with Max Holmes. We're a super talented player, but don't know what that uber premium potential is with him.
yeah.
Very talented player. Geelong have got a ripper there, of course. Um, the others in 20%, I haven't had Finn O'Sullivan at all. I think that half forward role just seems half forward wing. I don't really know what to think about that. I don't trust it. I haven't had Luke Parker in my team as well at this stage, and same with Isaac Rankin. But I really want to find a way to get Rankin in. But got a feeling it's going to be one of Horn Francis or Rankin in some structures, one or the other there. Um, I guess is there any of these guys that you wanted to touch on that you haven't had?
I've had Will Ashcroft for a bit just with the buy and
Yeah,
not sure what the CBAs they'll go up the CBAs, but Levi, how much does he get if he plays? I think he will. How much do they want to cut into McCluggage? I know Neil's had limited prep, but he looked pretty good out there. Looks like he's gone well. Day's got a Bedford round 3, by round 4. I'm not going near that.
yeah,
I have Sarong, I have Rankin, but maybe we'll see. And Luke Parker is probably a no, just uncertainty of forward mid split. So it's a lot of this, yeah, a lot of my decisions are based on role and preseason, really. So you
yeah,
sort of know who I'm going to say uh, before I actually speak on the guy. But yeah, it's a no for Parker for me.
yeah,
And
and
same with O'Sullivan.
yeah,
O'Sullivan's not really an accumulator. I'm not paying 200K for that. It's a waste of money. But he's a good player, though.
yeah. I like the look of him. I'm not sure if you know, Dylan Alexander follows draft. He's one of the main guys I listen to for draft, and he for draft prospects and all that. And he really does like Finn O'Sullivan, but doesn't know if that's going to translate to Supercoach early days. So. Um, yeah, and obviously a lot of people had Mills, but with that news, he is gone girl. As we move into the players under 20%, there are a few names, of course, 68 players overall with 10% ownership or above. And yeah, just with the constant injuries and news during preseason, it's probably led to a lot more of an even spread with some of these players' ownerships. So I've noticed James Peatling's dropped after last night. I've still got him in for now, but we'll see. Don't know if you've had Max Gorn yet. I just thinking age, and we predict every year that he'll there's regression, but he just keeps on keeping on. But yeah, I just don't think I can pay that when you got Tom DeConning there, you got Tristan Cherry, 20K cheaper as well. And there's Jaden Shaw's gone up a bit. Like, yeah, there's quite a few guys around this range, so we'll slowly go down to it. Any players on screen currently that you haven't had at all?
I don't think I have anyone there except for Perryman and O'Driscoll at the moment.
Yeah,
I mean, Peatling's been in and out, but now that I've seen, if Draper gets games, it's going to hurt Peatling, I think. So I don't have Peatling. Gorns, I did hear on radio, I think it was Chaplin, the assistant coach there, said that they might use Campbell throughout the year to manage Gorn a bit. Um,
Yeah, I heard that too.
so I'll probably sit out of Gorn. Don't get me wrong, he's going to be fresh. He hasn't done a lot of contact in the preseason because he had that larynx injury. So
Mhm.
been doing a lot of running and stuff. So he'll probably start really well and still like have a good finish to the year, but not as good as the first half, like similar to last year. We'll probably sit out, and if he goes well, he's just too expensive. You just know that if he averages like 10, 15 above his price, it is what it is. You can't get him. He's too much. But yeah, I like O'Driscoll from this list, and I've got Perryman at the moment, but just yeah, really unsure on Perryman as well. Roll looks good though. Roll was the playing what lockdown defender last year to maybe the number two mid. I mean, it sounds pretty good to me. And he's
Yeah.
scored okay in mids before, but the exposed form is sort of a little bit like sketchy, like here and there. It's not like a massive sample size to pull from.
No, there isn't much sample size with that, as our Victorian and South Australian accents combine there. Uh, um, yeah, I think with Perryman, I think they're going to try that Josh Dunkley role with him, where obviously isn't going to quite hit the same like a Josh Dunkley would, but just due to the amount of lackluster options in that forward line, we're sort of looking at guys like Perryman, where he's probably going to be, what are we thinking, second in CBAs for the Pies? Like,
They cost one. Pendlebury, they still use him heaps there. De Goey's been injured. I think De Goey's got a knee issue at the moment, had groin issues all last year. Where's, yeah, sounds like he hasn't trained a lot this preseason.
yeah,
Perryman has, so I think more burden will go on to Perryman. Renzo will help us massively.
yeah,
We'll see though, but yeah, I just think there has to be some sort of spike there, and I don't think he's a keeper. And his durability is not great. I think people don't really care about durability anymore with 40 trades. It's fair enough, but um, yeah, he's sort of a hard one to read, Perryman. But I think he's looking at his history the other day. I think he plays average like 15, 16 games a year, so always misses nearly misses nearly a third of the season. But
Mhm.
yeah, we'll see, I guess.
Yeah. I'm usually one to um, take into consideration with durability. Probably the one for me is if they have a full preseason and they're looking good, then I'll give that a pass. Like I've got Adam Chera in the side, so that'll be a thrilling Thursday night. So yeah, but I've heard all good things there. In terms of other guys, Sam Flanders, I wasn't hot on anyway, but obviously with that dealing with a back issue since December, I believe, is a guy that I don't think many of us would or should be touching there. Joe Berry, I'm very interested to see how he goes tomorrow against the Saints. Yeah, a lot of these guys like Luke Trainer, I haven't had. I know he played well in that last quarter for the Tigers, but it's still a bit of a sign with his job security, considering that he only just came on for the fourth quarter. But hopefully we get him because we just need all the rookies we can get. As we move on over to sort of the next page here, a lot of 15, 14% ownership guys. Few interesting ones, a lot of different range of players here to dissect. I think it's more the question of, is there any players that you've actually had in your side at any point?
Never had Layla or don't even know who Sims is, to be honest. I think he might have played actually last night, the other night.
Yeah, I
Can't
think
remember.
he was part of the squad. I think he was Richmond's last. He was Richmond's pick 28,
Yeah,
ruck
okay.
forward. I think ownership's because of the ruck forward status.
Yeah, I think just I have Nas at the moment. I think
Yep.
yeah, Jack Steele said twice now he's been standout in preseason, two different interviews, which has been good. Yeah, Kitties and Jagger, unfortunate for those guys. Pal Peppers, I've had him in, but it's just if I need money, he's the first to go.
I
Has a
think
nice early run though. They got
I think
Richmond early,
there's
so
sub risk as well with Power Pepper as well. Early.
okay. Yeah, 10 months off that ACL. I think it is. his ACL in April. So it'll be 10 and a half months or so. So I don't really like that, to be
Yep.
honest. But apparently he's gone well and they love him. Put him in the four-man leadership group. So
Yeah, nice.
yeah,
Uh,
don't have him though.
yeah. I'd like to hear your thoughts on. We've probably had him in pre-season, but Matty Flynn, he's still he's giving us all the trouble in the world, not finalizing that R1 spot, constant niggles in training. I'd like to hear your thoughts because I still would almost go there if he's named round one as the solo ruck. I don't know about you. He's had a lot of problems.
Yeah.
He won.
Flynn, I've I don't have him at the moment. I've thought
No.
about it. I just think he's had back soreness, and then he's copped a knock, which has hurt his back or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know how fit he actually is.
No,
That
I
worries
don't
me.
either. It's not promising. It's
It's
every
quite.
training session you hear he's injured.
He's done a yes, I think ankle as well or something early in the preseason.
Yeah.
Then I'm just going to sit out. There's massive upside in a Tom DeConing and a Harry Boyd is a much better ruck than Flinny. Um, that's another story whether he's the number one ruck with Marshall a little bit underdone. So I can't fit Flynn in. Look, all going well. No reason why I can't do 85, but um, yeah, there's just concerns around. I think it's fit. I think he'll get number one ruck. I think it can work, but
Yep.
I just can't fit him. Like in that price range, I've got a
It-
lot of expensive mid rookies like O'Driscoll, Sardis, Levi. I assume Sheldrick plays with no Mills. Like you got to draw the line somewhere. I just can't get to him, but yeah, it's an interesting one. I guess to fill that void at R2, you don't want to pay for a Sherry, say 400k. Hope Flynn goes well. His fixture's not good, Flynn, as well. So that's another factor. So I
okay.
think best case 85 for him. So okay pick if it goes well, but if not, I'll just sit out.
Yeah. Yeah. As yeah, and if it doesn't work out as well, it's tough to find a replacement for him if he gets dropped or he gets injured. So there's not really much else unless you go down. And just to wrap up, final few players here. There's a few to talk about here. So Dan Kurt, we've sort of touched on a bit. Don't think we can go there. We got Hugo Garcia, who made his name in the Carlton match sim. We sort of knew about the potential of him getting midfield time, but we really saw it in that match sim against the Blues at Icon Park, and he really provided a lot of spark for that Saints midfield. So I think he wouldn't have been in many teams before that, but now he's really put himself in there. Yeah, there's again a different range of names here. In terms of guys I haven't had Riley Bice. I need to say it tonight. Like I just feel like the ownership's there, maybe due to him being mature age. Sinclair, yeah, I haven't had, and especially with that hamstring, it's a problem. Whitfield, would love to pick him, but just very tough with that bye. Me and Lockie Neal, of course, as we bank on regression for a fourth year in a row. And
Yeah.
yeah, Sheldrick's in my side at the minute. So, yeah, what are your thoughts on a few of these guys? A lot of round three and early buy guys here.
Yeah, I think Hugo looks like third CBA mid.
Yep.
Uh, you can't really pass on that. Maybe goes to fourth if Ross wants to play Hunter Clark or something, but I don't see it. I'd be very shocked.
Zach Jones.
Whitfield, it's 590 is too much. I think I just can't fit in with the buy. So I feel like Jordan Clark, I have 560. That's already pushing it for defenders this year with not much upside there. But yeah, Whitfield's post buy was crazy. I remember only him first half of the year. Just wanted to like put my foot through my TV watching him, and then second
Yeah.
half of the year, second half of the year, he was my best pick basically. So it was a bit of
Yeah.
an odd
It was
one.
so funny watching your reviews.
Uh,
What a roller
I mean,
coaster.
not it's not that it carries any value, but Whitfield went off with some sort of knock or something like that, like eye issue or something, hip or
Yeah.
every second game. And something he does a lot is because he gets so many handball receives, he runs and then he releases it as he gets hit. So he just cops so many hits, and it's going to get him in trouble one day. It has over his career. It's not the most fun watch when that happens, but nah, Whitfield. I'd be shocked if he's not top. I think he's going to be 31 this year, so his age regression a thing there. But um, like he's running the show back there, and he's ultra fit.
Yep.
Otherwise, like I haven't really looked at Houston
No.
has a buy, and Josh Dacos. How does that fit back there with Dacos there
Mm-hmm.
playing
Yeah.
down back?
Just move
Not
down
sure.
half back.
Yeah, and then Neil. I mean, yeah, I thought 110 last year. He's gone down this year. No, it went up 10 points and it's fully fit. So maybe we upgrade Neil and just don't completely ignore him while I watch Matt Rouse score 80 and Neil score 130 every week. So we'll look at that later in the year for sure for Neil. But yeah, he looked sublime last night. Just yeah, at stoppage, just can't stop him. He's just probably the best at it in the league. So no, he's good.
And I think he obviously was dealing last year with that plantar fascia, however you say it. And in the grand final, I think he broke it, I believe, and that's usually a good thing on because I heard the story of Robert Harvey doing it, and he just jumped off the table to break it. Um, so
Yeah, I've heard. I
it's
wish I knew how that works. I'm really not across it, but yeah.
yeah, I don't want to try getting it, so.
It'd be
Uh,
good if you could fix injuries like that. Like a dodgy knee, just knee something and it gets fixed. That'd be great, but no, probably
mate,
not.
Mate, I've had 5 knee surgeries. If you
Oh
find
shit.
if you find any solutions, please no. I
Yeah.
if I could, I would play local footy, but just can't do it now. And then final few players here. Archer Day Wicks, I just think he's there for 99K. He made a little bit of noise early, but I haven't heard much in the past couple of months. Bustlinger was an emergency. I don't think we can go there. Bolton's done his calf, and we know the type of scoring he delivers, where I think he will be better than 77, but it's just, I don't know, maybe one for later if he gets 100K cheaper. And Sam DeConning and Patrick Cripps. Cripps is just, love him as a player, but just can't get behind it for Supercoach. Sam DeConning, I guess, will be our final touch on. Where he could be the number one ruck, but he didn't exactly pass the eye test in that Geelong practice match. We get another look in 6 days' time against the Lions and see if he's named solo ruck. Were you ever on him, and are you still keeping your eye on him?
I think I was for a while, just sort of out of desperation down back. Pretty
Yep.
sure Chris Scott said that he's going to need help versus Gorn in a few weeks. So he's got the buy, and then who knows what happens with Gorn. He
Yeah.
can always pull that lever of Stanley in, or he's rotated a bit. I think the ruck contests, I think it was 40 something to SDK and high 20s to Blitz Arbs. So that's not really the split we're after. Plus the buy-in and the Chris Scott factor. So there's a little bit too much that can go wrong there. I think I like the idea of maybe swinging him in the ruck if you're going a risky R2, like a Flynn or a Boyd Reedy sort of combo. But uh, I don't have enough confidence that one, he's going to score well enough. He does have nice early two games. I think it's
Freo.
Reedy and
Yeah.
somebody else that's easy. Forget. Either way.
Boyd. I think they play Saints round two.
Oh, okay. Actually might not be easy then. Uh, yeah, it's a no from me. I don't know. Have you considered him in your team?
Yeah, I've had him in over the past couple of weeks, but yeah, I think just some restructuring has put him out, but I won't have any complaints if he goes 90 against Big O. Like if he can go 90 against Big O, then imagine what he can do the following week. So yeah, I think there will be a bit of BS when it comes to his type of role, but yeah, we'll just see how he goes round zero. And yeah, we said to 10%, so we'll leave it at that. Yeah, very good discussion, George. It's always good talking Super Coach with you, whether that's in video or in person or online. So thank you so much for jumping on, George. One final question. Where do Adelaide finish?
Oh, I think Swizz asked me this, and I said 10th, just because I'm so negative on the Crows. But oh,
It's
I'll
top
be
eight
very
safe.
upset if we don't play finals. I'll be very upset. Um, I think the list is good enough. It's not the greatest list, but there's enough there to work with midfield and forward. And I think there's a few pieces he can pull at halfback to improve that. But whether he does that or not, I don't know. Nixie. So it was promising last night. Look, I'll say seventh. Fingers crossed.
Oh, I'm hoping that for you. I'm sort of hoping for a Crom redemption there. So hopefully you guys can finally play finals for what it feels like a fair while. So wishing you the best of luck there. That'll do for this video. Thank you, George, for jumping on. Of course, it's a pleasure to have you on the channel again in a much better talking motion there. So we'll see you guys in the next video. Hope you're doing well. Catch ya.